What's up guys, Simply Coco here and welcome back to my channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe and I will always respond to your comments. Okay, so today we're back with another apartment renovation. I am doing the 702 Zenview apartment. This is the apartment that's 2 stories and has a balcony. So what I did, I got this idea from Simlicy, and I actually take this one apartment and turn it into 2. So today's video is the downstairs part of the apartment. So, and this will actually be functional in game because if you have, as you probably know, if you have Discover University, you can actually have roommates. So all you would have to do is move your sim into this apartment or one of the apartments and then use the cell phone to put out an ad for a roommate. And then as long as there's another bed in that upstairs house, they will occupy that bed. And then what you have to do from there is just lock your door for them and lock their door for your sim. And yeah, then you'll have 2 functioning separate apartments where you don't actually have to control the person in the other one. But I am building from reference. It's not so much, the floor plan isn't so much from reference. It's really just the objects. So I'm not going to put the photo up or anything. It's really just the objects and the color scheme and, the aesthetic that I was going for, that I used the picture for, but it's not really, I'm not directly copying anything. Just kind of sort of copying where things are placed, and it's mostly just making it match the aesthetic of the photo. So the photo is very these warm woods and very colorful, a lot of plants around, and just a ton of clutter. So now I'm doing in the kitchen. They did have these shelving units in the photo, but I had to put one on the window. That does change later when I get ready to do the bedroom. You'll see me make the kitchen wider because the bedroom is absolutely huge. So I do end up moving this shelf away from the window because the kitchen ends up being 1 tile wider. I did put a microwave up there because they had one in the photo on a shelf. So I had to put it on I've done this in like my last 2 or 3 builds. You put it on you size down like I just did for the coffee pot, you size down a bar counter and then put the object on top of that. Then you can alt place it wherever you want it. So this coffee pot nor the microwave, neither one of them are functional. You would have to click on it. You would have to move the stuff out the way, grab the counter it's sitting on, take the object off of it, put it on another counter, use it, put it back on the bar counter, and then put it back where it was, and then alt place it back where it is, and that's just too much. So it's clearly, it's merely just for decoration purposes. Feel free to use it if you want, but be mindful that there is only 1 other counter that can be used to cook on once I extend the kitchen. So if you put an appliance on it, you won't have room to cook. Yeah, but there's a lot of rugs in this place. There were a lot of rugs in the photo, and they were all like kind of this very heavily patterned, very colorful, so I went with that. Then they had like this futon, this brown futon, so I went with it was more tan, so I went with this one that kind of worked in the best. And then they had a half wall that separated the living room from the rest of the house, like whatever was behind it. I don't know what was behind it because the only thing I saw in the photo was a kitchen in the living room. So what I did is I put that half wall there to make it a small kind of separation between the living room and that hallway. And then I put the TV there. And then you'll see this later, but on the other side of the half wall, I end up putting a desk. I do put a laptop in here, not an actual computer, but I put the laptop at the kitchen table just for some variety, I figured, the person who lives here would kind of move around where he wanted to sit and do his homework. So, but speaking of who lives here, I imagine this being for an international college student. So international means they're not from the US. I'm just going to say the US because that's where I am. But if you live in the UK and someone from the US comes, they're an international student. But I'm in the US, so I imagine this is someone coming to the US for college and they're an international student. So I imagine them being of Asian, I'm just going to say of Asian descent. I imagine them being Asian, more specifically Japanese, meaning from Japan. The reason being is because the reference photo I was looking at, it was on Pinterest, and it was the whole description was in Japanese, but I didn't know that. So I put it in I put it in Google Translate, and it said that it detected that it was Japanese. So that's what gave me the idea for this build. So it's a Japanese foreign exchange, not foreign exchange. That's more high school. It's a Japanese international student who's going to university. There are certain objects that I put around that I would assume he's into music. And I also give him a soccer ball whenever I go to his room. And so I assume he plays soccer. He's very active. He's very musical. And I would assume he would also be gay. I'll tell you more about that when I get to the thing that gave me the idea of him being gay. Actually, no, I passed it. So on this little table over here that has the books and the scissors and the pencils, where I put this expo marker dry erase board, I was gonna put a pride flag there, and that's what gave me the idea of him being gay, and then I just kind of stuck with it. So yeah, I do imagine him being gay. I imagine him having two different sides of himself. I imagine him being very masculine, he's not masculine, he definitely has a feminine side, but I imagine him not really flaunting himself very much, not really being, he's out and he's proud, he's just not so out there with his personality and his appearance. But I feel like when he goes to school, he dresses like a normal guy. You probably couldn't look at him and think he was gay, or maybe you could, whatever, it just depends on your gaydar. Real quick, you do see that I just bumped it out and made the kitchen one tile bigger. But anyway, and then I would imagine his second side would be the side of him that comes out when he's hanging out with his other gay friends, or the side that comes out when he's drunk, or just his other side that comes out when he wants it to come out. And I imagine that version of him would get dressed up, extra dressed up, borderline, dress up like a girl dress up, and would wear makeup and the whole nine. Not drag, but just eyeliner, lip gloss, stuff like that. Some mascara, just subtle, but at the same time very extra. So maybe he didn't discover that part of himself until he came to college and was around other gay people, because I don't know if this is real. It maybe you can tell me if you're Japanese, but I would assume in his culture it's not very accepted. I would assume his parents didn't accept it very well, and that's why he wanted to come to school in the US. I imagine him being very smart, so he has a full ride. That's why there's books everywhere, homework in places. His book bag is in the living room. He has this dry erase board that he can write down his assignments and just all his stuff on. I imagine him being very, very smart. But yeah, so that's his story. That's what I imagine. I would say he's, what am I trying to say? Just obviously with him being an international student, he hasn't always lived in the US, but obviously he has to know English, so I would assume he knows really good English, but his accent is probably very thick. And I just think that gives him another level of like cuteness to him. So I think he's gonna be really popular with a lot of guys at university. Even though he's into music, I would assume even though he's into music, I think there's a music degree at Brightchester, but even the Brightchester is the more artsy school, but I would still imagine him going to Foxbury just because he wants to get a more practical degree like business or engineering or something like that. So yeah, I might even, create this character and actually play with him. So let me know if you'd like to see that. It wouldn't be a Let's Play or anything. It would just kind of be like every now and then I hop on here and see what he's doing and kind of play out his story, that kind of thing. But not so much a part-by-part Let's Play. I'm struggling to finish the one I am doing. But, let me know if you'd like to see that. I would like to do that because I really like this storyline. Maybe I can create his parents and everything too, and they come visit, and maybe they find him with another guy or something. And yeah, but as you can see, the couch has disappeared, and that's because I stopped building last night and started building this morning, and things disappeared. And it's probably because move objects wasn't on. As you can see, the microwave disappeared, and this is about to be the third time I had to place it. A lot of YouTubers I watch, they'll always say like, make sure you have move objects on when you place one of my builds or things are going to disappear. And I've never done that, and I've never put in moved objects before, even when I'm building something and then I come back to it, I never put move objects in first, and nothing ever disappears. This is the first time it did that to me. And I guess maybe it's because I pushed that couch into the wall a little bit, and then how complicatedly, if that's even a word, that the microwave is placed. Maybe that's why those two things disappeared. So just make sure you do have move objects on before you place this lot or this room. It's gonna, as you probably know, apartments have to be uploaded to the gallery as rooms, because it's not a lot. But what I'll do is I will just delete some of the walls that are over the doors and then put it on the gallery. Then when you put it in this lot, you'll know where the walls go because they'll just be floating doors right there. But yeah, now I moved on to his bedroom. As you can see, the bedroom is still ginormous, even though I made it one tile shorter. So what I end up doing is I put a closet in here. The closet comes with get together, and I figured that most apartments come with closets, so that's why I did that. And then here's where I said he could have like another personality side to him, because this hanger rack thing comes with heels on the bottom of it. So I was like, okay, that doesn't make sense, but I made it make sense. And then I put that skinny dresser from Tiny Living to be like his sock drawer and his underwear drawer and stuff like that. He hides his personal things in there for when he has company, if you know what I mean. Wink, wink. Then I just kind of put a whole bunch of different things around. He's a very colorful person. There's his soccer ball, there's his guitar. Then I gave him a bike because I figured he would have one. Now I'm just placing some things that I forgot, but I will say that I did forget to furnish the balcony, so I'm so sorry about that. You can just pop some things out there yourself, or I'll finish it and put it on the gallery. But I will see you all in the next one. Bye!